I hope my audio is fine. Okay, I think there is some issue. Just give me a second. All right. Yeah. Okay. I think this should be fine. Just give me a second. I'll just try to improve the voice quality of this. All right. Yeah. I think this should be better. So if this is better, let me know. We can start with the session then. Yeah, volume is low. I realized it. But I think this should be fine. I have a very strong feeling that the voice is better now. And people who are attending, you can just put it in the chat. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I think everything is good to go. So we can start with the session now. All right. So welcome everyone to this session. Sorry we got a bit delayed. But yeah, I had some issues with the updates. But anyway, we'll get going with the session. So today's session is on arithmetic and we are doing this daily drill. So we have reached day 27. So those of you who haven't watched the daily drills, do so. There are a lot of questions that we have solved. We solve roughly 8 to 10 or sometimes even 11, 12 questions on an average every day. So we will already have a stash of a good around 250 questions. So have a look at the daily drills that have happened if you haven't already, if you are new to the channel. Because I see a lot of new people on the channel. Every day the subscriber base is increasing, so that is a good thing. But people who are new, have a look at it. In case you are wondering how to appear for these tests, you will have to use the link that is there in the description to this video as well. You will have to register yourself on a portal. It's called point99.learnist.com. You have to register yourself there. You will get an email confirmation. You will have to confirm your email and then you will be able to take the tests. So make sure that you have followed all these steps so as to be able to take the tests. And what happens is every day, once the test is done or once a significant number has taken the test, I am here at 8 p.m. and we discuss the solutions to those questions that were there as a part of the test. Right. So today's session is on arithmetic and we have 10 questions today. So we will have a look at the questions that are there. And for all of you who are again new to this entire setup, there is a special surprise for all of you that is going to happen on Thursday evening. So Thursday is going to be a double header and there are going to be 2 live sessions. The second live session we will be releasing tomorrow or by tomorrow evening we will be telling you what that session is exactly. But it's going to be a fun session, right? So on that note, let's start with the session today. So we have the first question here. Have a look at it, try it out on your own. I'll give you a minute to think about this because this was already a part of the test that was floated today. So you would have already seen it if you had taken the test. But for those of you who haven't taken it, who want to maybe go through it before we actually start solving it, this is the question that we have. In case you have not solved this, you can pause the video, try it out on your own and then join the conversation. Even if the session moves ahead, if you have a doubt, you can ask me in the chat and I'll be more than happy to address your query and ensure that you have understood it properly, right? So that's basically the question, right? So I'll give you a minute. We will start by 8:12 solving this question. So it's a very interesting question. Have a look at it. I'm going to share a very nice shortcut to this particular question. So that's basically how you can solve this. Yeah. So I hope all of you have had a chance to look at this particular question, and let's get going with the solution now. So let's see what it looks like. Right. So let's start with this. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So there are two ways of doing this. One is the conventional way, which is slightly difficult, and another is a shortcut. Now I'll tell you what the conventional way is first, and then we will have a look at the shortcut. Right. So if you look at the conventional way of solving this particular question, let's say, again, there are a lot of assumptions involved in this. So let's look at the conventional long way of solving this. So when we are looking at the question, B needs 25% more time to finish a job than A does. So let's say A finishes the job in 50 days. If A finishes the job in 50 days, B will take 25% more. Or let's say A finishes the job in 60 days, B will take 25% more. 25% is 1/4 of 60. So 60 का 1/4 15 ज़्यादा days लेगा and B will finish it in 75 days. That is what it means. In other words, we can say that B needs 25% more time to finish the job. So what can we say about their comparative efficiencies? Let's say ये वाले केस के अंदर, let's say 300 units का work है. I'm just giving you an example. 300 units का work अगर है, B would have been able to do 4 units per day, and A would have been able to do 5 units per day. So because B takes 25% more time, or B takes 5/4 into what A takes, we can say that A is 5/4 times as efficient as B. Right? So if B does 4 units per day, A will end up doing 5 units per day. तो ये पता चल जाएगा हम लोग को. Right? So let's say for this, in this particular context, let A do 5x units per day, let B do 4x units per day. We can start with this assumption, and mind you, this is the longer way. There is a shortcut as well, which will make your job extremely easy, and you will wonder why we are doing this in the first place. Okay. Now, whatever is the job, it doesn't matter what the amount of job is. Let's say there is some job that is there, which is of amount D. ठीक है, तो total job D है. Now we have to figure out D को ये कर रहे हैं 5x units per day and 4x units per day के speed पे से. So this we can say is the work that needs to be done. This is the speed at which this work is done. So what is the amount of time that needs to be done? It's basically going to be work divided by speed. It's similar to time, speed, distance, right? So distance is work and speed is the efficiency, the rate at which this work is being done. अभी first case में क्या हो रहा है? They finished the job in 13 days. So total time taken is 13 days. But these 13 days have been divided into 3 parts. पहले A works alone till half the job is done. तो अगर D total job है, तो D by 2 करेगा A. But A will do it at what speed? Distance upon speed, ना work upon speed. The speed at which A is doing work is 5x. So D divided by 2 into 5x आएगा. Second part में क्या हो रहा है? A and B work together for 4 days. So this will be 4 as it is. 4 days काम किया है. And then finally B works alone to complete the remaining 5% of the job. So we can say that the remaining 5%, so D by 20 वाला जो काम है, that is done by B at a speed of 4x. So D by 20 into 4x हो जाएगा ये. Now we can say that 9 will be nothing but D divided by 10x, I'm adjusting this 13 and 4, plus D divided by 80x. Or we can say this is going to be 8D divided by 80x, multiplying and dividing by 8. तो यहाँ पे क्या मिलेगा? 9D equals 9 into 80x, or D will be equal to 80x. Now D is 80x and B does 4x units per day. तो कितने टाइम में B फिनिश करेगा? 80x divided by 4x, that is 20 days. And that's why the answer is option A. Now this is the difficult way of solving this, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें स्ट्राइक होनी चाहिए. It should strike you that we are trying to do D upon something. ये 4 को ऐसे कैसे लेना चाहिए? D by 20 is a fraction that you're looking at, and that makes it slightly more complicated than what it should have been, right? But there is a very elegant, shorter way of solving this particular question. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Think about the percentages that exist, right? So in this case, A ने 50% काम कर दिया. So 100% of work needed to be done, right? A has alone done 50% of the work. We also know that B has done 5% of the work. तो बचा कितना work? The remaining work is 45%. Now 45% has been done by A and B together. But we have established that B and A का जो frequency है या जो उनका speed है या efficiency rather, that is 5:4. So for every 5 units that A does, or every 5% that A does, B would have done 4%. So together they would have done 9%, let's say. तो अगर together वो लोग 9% कर रहे हैं, तो 45% का split कैसे हो जाएगा? It's basically, you can say that in this particular case, 25% of the work would have been done by A, and 20% of the work would have been done by B. 5:4 के ratio में करना है तो, right? So 5:4 के ratio में अगर करेंगे 25% of the work was done by A and 20% of the work was done by B. But they were working together for 4 days ना. तो 4 days में अगर B does 20% of the work, तो 100% of the work करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा? 4 into 5, again 20. Right? So this is the shortcut that is there. तो यहाँ पे you need not even write down these things that I have mentioned. 50% is done by A, 5% is done by B. 45% is left that is done by A and B together. We know that their efficiency is 5:4. So when A would have done 25 units or 25% of the total work, B would have done 20% of the total work. Now because it is 25:20 that they have, B would have done 20% of the total work in 4 days because they have worked together for 4 days. So we can say that because they have worked together for 4 days, we know that 4 days में B does 20%, which means that B would have done 100% in 4 into 5, that is 20 days. That's why the correct answer is option A. Right? I hope you understood the shortcut and you understood the longer way of solving. So the longer way is also not something that intuitively comes to you, right? ये मतलब this requires some struggle to come to this point. उसके बाद easy है, but यहाँ तक आने में you will wonder if I should take 2 variables, क्या करना चाहिए and all those things. So that was basically the longer method. It's also interesting. Long method भी interesting है, but the shortcut is like you can do it mentally. It's that straightforward. So I hope you have understood the first question. We'll go to the next one. Till then, if you have some doubt with the first question, let me know. I'll try to address it in the chat. ठीक है? So have a look at the second question. Again, you can take a minute to think about this, and then we can start with the solution. Yeah. So let's have a look at this one. Manageable question. Again, this is a very straightforward question. ये तो मतलब आ जाना चाहिए था. I will try to talk about the shorter way of doing things, but then again it's very manageable. So let's try to look at the long cut that exists. So Raju and Lalita originally had marbles in the ratio 4:9 is what we have, right? So let Raju have 4x marbles to start with. Let Lalita have 9x marbles to start with. Then Lalita gave some of her marbles to Raju. Let this number be A. As a result, the ratio of the number of marbles with Raju to that of Lalita became 5:6. We have to find what fraction of her original number of marbles. मतलब जो 9x था was given by Lalita to Raju. So A would have been given by Lalita to Raju out of the 9x that she had. So A by 9x is what we need to find out. ठीक है? So yeah, let's start with this one. 4x and 9x were the original number of marbles. Now because Raju would have got A marbles from Lalita, Raju would now have 4x plus A marbles. Lalita would have given away A marbles, so now Lalita would be left with 9x minus A marbles. And now the ratio is 5:6. So this is something that has been given to us. Now let's see what we can do with this data. So 6 into 4x will be 24x plus 6a equals 9 5s are 45x minus 5a. Right? So you'll have to just shuffle the terms. This 5a will come here, it will become 11a. 24x will go here, will become negative, and it will give you 21x. Right? So a by x is going to be 21 by 11. We have to find what is a by 9x. So 21 by 11 into 1 by 9 is what we need to find out to find the value of a by 9x. And that's why you're going to get 3 will get cancelled out. You're going to get 7 by 33. So the correct answer is option D, 7 by 33. Very easy question that exists. Okay? Now you have to think about it in a manner and just see what can be done in this case. So Raju and Lalita had marbles in the ratio 4:9. So Lalita would have some marbles that will be a multiple of 9, right? That's why your denominator should either be a multiple of 9 or at least a multiple of 3. And that's basically where you can look at this particular option and say that, okay, 33 hai, to at least 9 ka thing exists in the denominator, right? Something like that you can think about, and then maybe we can start thinking about the equation, something like that, right? But then not a foolproof way of solving it, but just because there is a 9 here, you can say that 33 could have been the base, and then you can start with that assumption and see what happens. But because you have two variables and one equation, you will not get a single value to this question. That's why the question is in the form of what fraction was given by Lalita to Raju. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, it is a fairly straightforward question that you can solve by using conventional arithmetic. Yeah. Hi Aditya Verma. Namaste. Okay, we'll go to this one. This is a very interesting question. So try this out. It's a very, very, very nice question. I like this. In fact, I think this appeared in one of the CAT that I had taken, and I got extremely confused with this question. I think I got it wrong as well at the actual test, but then I realized what a silly mistake I was making. And you have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with these kind of questions. So इसको एक बार देख लेते हैं. It's an interesting one. Have a look at it. And I'm sure all of us will learn something from this question. Yeah, so I'll wait for another 30 seconds, then we can start with this. It's a very interesting question. One of my favorite questions which represents CAT. So if CAT were to be spoken about in the context of a question, this will be the question that I will talk about. Yeah, so let's get going with this one. एक बार देख लेते हैं. And I would strongly urge all of you to pause the video and check it out on your own if you haven't solved this already. So a wholesaler bought walnuts and peanuts, the price of walnut per kg being thrice of that of peanut per kg. So walnuts and peanuts, if the price of peanut is x per kg, then the price of walnut becomes 3x per kg, rupees per kg. All right, I'll just write this one properly. Right, so rupees per kg is what we have here. X rupees per kg and 3x rupees per kg. Now what has happened here? He then sold 8 kg of peanuts at a profit of 10% and 16 kg of walnuts at a profit of 20% to a shopkeeper. So 8 kg of peanuts were sold and 16 kg. 8 kg of peanuts and 16 kg of 8 kg of peanuts. 8 kg of peanuts and 16 kg of walnuts. Yeah, 16 kg of walnuts were sold at a profit of 20% to a shopkeeper. However, the shopkeeper lost 5 kg walnuts and 3 kg peanuts in transit. तो यहाँ पे -5 kg हो गया, यहाँ पे -3 kg हो गया. He then mixed all the remaining nuts and sold the mixture. सबको mix कर दिया and then he sold the mixture at 166 rupees per kg का rate. And then he made an overall profit of 25%. We have to find out at what price in rupees per kg did the wholesaler buy the walnuts. तो मेरे को पता करना है 3x का value क्या है, right? Now one thing you can do is conventionally अगर सोचेंगे तो 3x has to be a multiple of 3. So I'm looking at these two options as my answers, right? But वो सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can do it normally as well. But यहाँ पे you have to understand one small thing, that there are two players that are involved. One is a wholesaler and another is a shopkeeper. ये दो अलग लोग हैं. And we have to find out wholesaler ने कितने में buy किया था. ठीक है? What I did during the test was I forgot about the shopkeeper business. I thought that a wholesaler bought walnuts some amount of walnuts and some amount of peanuts. उसके अंदर से 8 kg peanuts he sold at 10% profit, 16 kg walnuts he sold at a profit of 20%, then he lost 5 kg walnuts, 3 kg peanuts, remaining वाले के अंदर कर दिया. I got stuck with so many variables that I was not able to crack this. ठीक है, and I thought that something was missing somewhere and so on. I didn't read that wholesaler अलग होता है and shopkeeper अलग होता है. ठीक है, although I have worked more than 2 years in this wholesaler, distributor, stockist, shopkeeper setup, retailer setup, I couldn't see it during the test, right? So sometimes वो होता है, मतलब you will not be able to see things clearly. You will believe that यही है करके, but the reality will be something else, right? Now the question becomes very easy. So now let's start with this data. 3x rupees per kg पे wholesaler had bought it, x rupees per kg पे wholesaler had bought peanuts, 16 kg of walnuts he sold at a profit of 20%, and 8 kg peanuts he sold at a profit of 10%. ठीक है, 8 kg peanuts he sold at a profit of 10%, 16 kg he sold at a profit of 20%. So what will be the cost price for the shopkeeper? कॉस्ट प्राइस फॉर दी शॉपकीपर कितना होगा पूरा मिला के, बिकॉज ही सेलिंग इट इन वन गो ना, तो एक दोनों का एक एक करके देख लेते हैं. नाउ ही हैड परचेस्ड 16 kg ऑफ वॉलनट्स एट 20% का मार्कअप, सो 3x इंटू 1.2 हो जाएगा. सो दिस विल बी 16 इंटू 3.6x. दिस इज द अमाउंट दैट द शॉपकीपर पेड फॉर वॉलनट्स. एंड पीनट्स के लिए कितना पे किया था, 10% मोर, विच मीन्स 1.1x. सो 8 kg इंटू 1.1x, 8 इंटू 1.1x. So 16 into 3.6x plus 8 into 1.1x was the cost that was incurred by the shopkeeper. Selling price का क्या सीन है? Selling price में we are saying that 166 rupees per kg किया, but कब? 5 kg of walnuts were lost and 3 kg of peanuts were lost. So out of 16 kg, 15 kg of walnuts were lost. So 11 kg walnuts survived and 8 में से 3 चले गए, तो 5 kg of peanuts survived. दोनों को मिला के this guy sells it at 166 rupees per kg and then makes a profit of 25%. So can we say that in this case selling price upon cost price is going to be 5/4? 25% ज़्यादा है ना selling price, profit बन गया है तो, right? Now we just have to write this in or we have to just put it in this equation and we'll be able to get it, क्योंकि एक ही variable है x, we are supposed to find 3x. तो अब यहाँ पे 16 into 3.6x, 8 into 1.1x, you can manipulate terms by a bit. What you can do in this case is, or you can keep it as it is. Let's see what happens. तो सेलिंग प्राइस ऊपर ले लेते हैं, तो दिस इज 16 इंटू 166. दिस इज सेलिंग प्राइस डिवाइडेड बाय कॉस्ट प्राइस इज दीज टू. सो आई राइट इट एंटायरली. चलो 8 इंटू 1.1x प्लस 16 इंटू 3.6x. ठीक है, एंड आई मेक दिस स्क्विगली लाइन्स हियर. आई होप द notation is clear. Yes, we have plenty of space. ठीक है, now this is equal to 5/4. Now what we can do is we can cancel out a few terms from the numerator and the denominator. 8 तो मेरे को हर जगह पे दिख रहा है, तो I can cancel out an 8 from here. I can cancel out an 8, make this 2. I can cancel out an 8 and make this 2. So now I will be left with 2 into 166 divided by 1.1x plus 2 into 3.6, which is 7.2x. 7.2x plus 1.8x क्या हो गया, 8.3x. And for those of you who can observe this, 83 into 2 is 166. This is equal to 5/4. ठीक है, so this is what you are going to get. Now 8.3 into 20 will give you 166. So this is what will happens here. 5 4s are 20, and that's why you are going to get x equals, x ऊपर चला जाएगा, 4 into 4 16 into 2 32 हो जाएगा. Now if x is 32, we are going to get 3x equals 32 into 3, that is 96. And so the correct answer here is option A. So the key was to figure out that shopkeeper is different and wholesaler is different. And वहाँ पे that was basically where the beauty of the question lied. ठीक है, so have a look at this, see if you are able to follow this. अगर कहीं पे भी कुछ doubt है, something or not understood, let me know. But this was one of the easier questions which was sort of camouflaged as a difficult question, right? So that was basically where a lot of people thought that this was a difficult question, but it turned out to be a very straightforward question. ठीक है, have a look at this one and then we'll have a look at the solution. In case अगर पहले वाला question समझ में नहीं आया तो let me know. I gave SimCAT 7 today. I know that there were only questions which were easy, but I just didn't attempt it because I thought I should complete hard questions first and end up wasting time. Victor, you have to watch the videos that I upload on this channel. यार, मतलब you can't really make this mistake if you are attending this session, right? I have very nicely explained to you the pyramid with which your score or how your score is comprised of. There are easy questions which will be done by a lot of people. Then there are moderate questions which will be done by some people. Then there are difficult questions which will be done by very few people. Now every question will give you +3. ऐसा नहीं है कि difficult question is going to give you +5 and easier questions are going to give you a +3. If someone is solving easy questions and getting +3 and you are solving difficult questions, same काम करने के लिए why are you putting in randomly extra effort, right? So that is the mindset with which you have to go for the test. Even if you genuinely believe that you need to challenge yourself and do it, you can do it after the test is done. During the test, there is no need to be a martyr. It's always a good idea for you to attack these questions first, because everybody is going to attack these questions. ये question सब लोग attack करेंगे. तो you have to ensure that you get these questions right. नहीं तो you keep on focusing on these ones. Your brain might be happy that you are challenging it, but at the end of the day, your brain will not be happy because you would not have scored good marks. Right. So this was again a nice question purely because there are inequalities involved. तो जैसे ही inequalities आ जाते हैं ना, some people panic and it's difficult for people to think about what exactly is going to happen if something like this is asked, right? And that is basically why this question is a nice question. Otherwise, बहुत difficult question नहीं है, manageable question ही है. And with a lot of these questions, I think this was CAT 2018 if I remember correctly, which was one of the more difficult quant sections. तो ये difficult quant questions हम देख रहे हैं more or less, right? So I think this is CAT 2018 from what I remember. All right. So let's start with this one. एक बार start कर लेते हैं, then we will see what happens. In an apartment complex, the number of people aged 51 years and above, so greater than or equal to 51, is 30. The number of people is 30. Okay, 30 people. And there are at most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. So below 51, we have at most 39 people. The average age of all the people in the apartment complex is 38 years. Average of everyone is 38 years. What is the largest possible average age in years of the people whose ages are 51 and below? तो इसका average कितना होगा ये मेरे को देखना है. And then I should be fine. ठीक है? So not a difficult question. You can manage it fairly easily. Just that there will be two variables that will exist. ठीक है? If you are able to manage two variables, you should be fine. All right. So let's get going with this one. So let's say we are talking about 51 is this thing. We have to find the largest possible average age, na? Okay. So let's see what happens. So in this particular case, let's say we are dealing with X people who are, or the average is X, चलो जो मेरे को ढूंढ के निकालना है. And let's say there are K people whose age is less than 51 years. Okay. So this is what we have here, let's say. Now what will happen in terms of the average? Average कैसे निकालते हैं? Total age upon total number of people. Now because we know that the total age is going to be age of these people plus age of these people, and I want to ensure कि इनका average age ज़्यादा होगा, what do I have to ensure? I have to ensure that these people have as less age as is possible, because जितना इनका age कम होगा उतना ही इनका age ज़्यादा होगा. That's why I will assume that everybody is 51 years old in this particular target, ऊपर वाले इसके अंदर. ठीक है? So इन लोग का age बन जाता है 51 into 30 years. This is the cumulative age. नीचे वाले का cumulative age कितना हो जाएगा? X into K. There are K people whose age is X. बाद में क्या होगा नीचे? यहाँ पे the total number of people will be 30 plus K. And we know that the total age, the average age is 38 years. So 51 into 30 plus XK upon 30 plus K is going to be 38. Now we can just shuffle the terms and see what happens. 51 into 30 को वैसे ही रखते हैं. I'll generally not want to solve this because things generally get easier. Plus xk as it is 38 into 30 plus 38k. ठीक है? This is what it will look like. Now if I shuffle the terms here, what am I going to get? I am going to get k into 38 minus x. xk को अगर यहाँ पे लेके गए तो k into 38 minus x will be 51 into 30 minus 38 into 30, which will be 13 into 30. तो ये मुझे मिल जाएगा. Now k into 38 minus x is 13 into 30. ये मेरे को मिल गया है. I know that k max is 39. The maximum number of people is 39 ना, जिनका age is below 51, जिनका average age is below 51 or age is below 51, right? So k max is equal to 39. What do I have to do? I have to figure out what is the maximum possible average age. So मेरे को x को maximize करना है. If I want to maximize x, I want to minimize 38 minus x. If I want to minimize 38 minus x, I want to maximize k. But I know that the maximum value of k is 39. So k की जगह पे हम लोग यहाँ पे 39 कर देते हैं. So we are going to get 13 3s are 39. ये 30 है तो 3 will get cancelled out. 3 10s are 30. So we'll get 38 minus x equals 10 or x equals 28. So the maximum possible average age is going to be option D, that is 28 for this particular question. Right? Think about it. Again, you had to do something like this because you can't really use allegation directly. Because greater than or equal to 51 में I know that 51 exists. 30 मेरे को पता है. At most 39 is something that you will have to think about. ठीक है. If you are able to figure out कि 30 है, 39 है, and then you are going for the average, then you might be able to crack something from somewhere, but it's a sort of a long shot. ठीक है. तो अगर ये वाले ग्रुप का एवरेज एज अगर 51 है, लेट्स से फर्स्ट ग्रुप का एवरेज एज इज 51 ईयर्स, सेकेंड ग्रुप का एवरेज एज आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज, द एवरेज एज ऑफ ऑल द पीपल इज 38, the number of people with ages 51 and above is 30, and यहाँ पे maximum है तो यहाँ पे 39 कर दिया हम लोगों ने, right? Then we will have to figure out if this is 8, if this part is 8, and if this part is 1, तो फिर यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? But then you will not be able to do it confidently, right? अब यहाँ पे कैसे करेंगे बताओ मेरे को? If 13 units is 1, तो 8 के तो बहुत ही ऊपर चला जाएगा ना number. Now that is basically going to be a problem, right? And that is why you will not be able to say with certainty that अच्छा this is 51, this will be 38, ये 28 आना चाहिए, so that this becomes 10, so that this becomes 13 and so on. That might be a slightly difficult thing to expect. ठीक है? तो 30 is the number of people aged 51 years and above. तो above है तो कहीं पे भी हो सकता है वो. And we are talking about so many people having an average or whose 39 people whose ages are below 51 years. At most 39 people whose ages are below 51 years and so on. So that's why it might not really be the best idea to use allegation in this particular context. Okay, I hope this is clear. The answer is option D, 28 to this one. I'll show you the next question. Try it out once, and in case there is any doubt in the previous one, let me know. We can have a look at it again. Yeah, and in case you have still not understood why we could not do allegations in the previous question, it is simply because if you do allegation, you don't know what the average is of the second set, right? Neither do you know the average of the first set. We are saying that we'll assume that everybody is 51 करके. Second set में भी मेरे को maximum possible average is 28, but we don't know how that appears. So it will make your life slightly difficult. So better not to get into it. ठीक है? And if someone is interested, उसको कर सकते हैं allegation से previous वाले को. ठीक है, I'll show you the allegation वाला part as well. I'm sure some of you will want to look at allegation. It's manageable. It's a fine question जिसको कर सकते हैं. But वही, you will have to take that leap of faith that 39 is what is expected यहाँ पे. So let's see. 51 ages and above, no? 51 ages and above अगर 30 people are there, and at most 39 people है, 39 as it is ले लेते हैं, whose age is below 51, तो ये मेरे को पता नहीं है, and the average is 38, ठीक है. Now in this case, इसको अगर reduce करेंगे तो this will be 13, this will be 10, 10 is to 13 हो जाएगा, 51 minus 38 is 13, and 38 minus something or 38 minus 10 should be this thing, 38 minus 10 28 होता है, that's why 28 is your answer. So allegation से भी कर सकते हैं, the only problem is this number. At most 39 people exist because of this thing. Yeah. We can have a look at this one. This question we can have a look at. All right. So let's look at this question now. So a trader sells 10 liters of a mixture of paints A and B, where the amount of B in the mixture does not exceed that of A. So A is greater than or equal to B. The cost of paint A per liter is rupees 8 more than that of paint B. तो अगर B का X rupees per liter है, then A will be 8 rupees more. So X plus 8 rupees per liter. X plus 8. ठीक है? I hope this is visible. I just write it properly. X plus 8 rupees per liter. Okay, that is the cost per unit. If the trader sells the entire mixture for 264 rupees and makes a profit of 10%, then the highest possible cost of paint B in rupees per liter. तो मेरे को X max निकालने का है. Right? If the trader sells the entire mixture for 264 rupees and makes a profit of 10%. So 264 is a profit of 10%. Again, if you know what you are getting into, you will know that 10% profit is 1.1 times the cost price, that is 264. And अगर cancel करोगे 11 2s are 22 आएगा and 11 4s are 44 आएगा, तो CP will be 240. So the cost price is going to be 240 rupees पूरा का पूरा. Selling price is 264, 10% ज़्यादा है compared to 240. That's why the profit percentage is 10. ठीक है, तो 10% profit है. Now we have to figure out 10 liters of a mixture of paints A and B where the amount of B in the mixture does not exceed that of A. So अभी B, let's say for example B liters ही है, then A becomes 10 minus B. Fine. Now this is what we have here. We also know that the cost price is 240. Cost price कैसे मिलेगा? We will have 10 minus B multiplied by X plus 8 plus B into X. This will be 240. This is what we know here. Now what do we get from this? We will get 10x plus 80 minus bx minus 8b plus bx equals 240. So bx will get cancelled out from here and this 80 will go here. So we are going to get 10x minus 8b is 160. Okay? 10x minus 8b is 160. That is what we are going to get. Now we want to find what is the value of x, maximum value of x निकालने का है मेरे को. Now if maximum value of x निकालने का है मेरे को यहाँ पे, so what will happen to b? The larger b is, right, the larger the value of b, the larger the value of x, because if I write this like this, 10x equals 160 plus 8b. अगर मेरे को x को maximize करना है तो मेरे को b को भी maximize करना पड़ेगा, right? So if I want to maximize the value of b, what is the maximum value that b can take? We know that in this particular mixture, a का volume should be greater than or equal to b. So the maximum that b can be is equal to a. If A and B are equal and 10 liters अगर है, तो B max का value becomes 5. What will happen here? 10x will be equal to 160 plus 8 into 5, that is 40, that is 200. Or you will get x equals 20. So in this case, the highest possible cost of paint B in rupees per liter will be option C, that is 20. Alright, I hope this is clear. And all of you have understood this. Yeah? I hope all of you are doing fine because the response is unnaturally thanda today. So unless something is happening and something I have done wrong, I don't know what it is, but yeah. Or maybe arithmetic is generally an easy topic. That's why people are not very excited. Okay? But anyway, doesn't matter. So let's look at this question now. It's again a very interesting question. The distance from A to B is 60 kilometers. Partha and Narayan start from A at the same time and move towards B. Partha takes 4 hours more than Narayan to reach B. Moreover, Partha reaches the midpoint of A and B 2 hours before Narayan reaches B. The speed of Partha in kilometer per hour is what? And again, there is a very elegant way of solving this. No formula to nahi, but no elaborate equations required to solve this one. So have a look at this. Think about it for 30 seconds and then we will start with the solution. So we'll start at 8:48. All right, so let's get going with this one. So I'll show you a very interesting way of solving this. So A and B के बीच का distance is 60. ठीक है, let's say this is A, let's say this is B, and we know that this distance is 60 kilometers between A and B. Partha and Narayan start from A at the same time and move towards B. Partha takes 4 hours more than Narayan to reach B. Now let's say we are talking about Partha and we are talking about Narayan, right? So to cover the entire distance, if Narayan takes T hours, Partha will take T plus 4 hours. ठीक है, तो 4 घंटे का गैप है दोनों के बीच में. If you look at it, 4 hours more than Narayan to reach B. Moreover, Partha reaches the midpoint of A and B. Partha reaches the midpoint of A and B 2 hours before Narayan reaches B. So Narayan would be reaching B in T hours. ठीक है, so Partha would be reaching the midpoint. Partha would be reaching the midpoint in T minus 2 hours. 2 hours before Narayan reaches B, na? So T minus 2 hours पे Partha would be here. But we also know that Partha पूरा का पूरा distance T plus 4 में travel करता है. So Partha half distance कितने में travel करेगा? T plus 4 divided by 2. So we know that T plus 4 divided by 2 is the same as T minus 2. So we will be able to say that T plus 4 is 2T minus 4, or we are going to get T equals 8, I believe. Yeah, T equals 8 आएगा. The speed of Partha in kilometers per hour is, अगर T 8 है तो T plus 4 becomes 12. So Partha basically covers 60 kilometers at the speed of 12 kilometers or in 12 hours, which basically means the speed of Partha is 5 kilometers per hour. So the correct answer here is option D, that is 5. There is no need to go for any elaborate setup here. We just have to understand that there are two things that will give us the same thing, right? So one, Partha ka individual, we know that half distance cover karne mein he will take T plus 4 divided by 2 hours. We also know that Partha reached the midpoint when Narayan was 2 hours away from the destination, and Narayan takes T hours anyway, so T minus 2 हो गया. And that's why we are going to be able to equate these two and solve करेंगे. तो T 8 मिल जाएगा, T plus 4 will become 12, and 60 by 12 will give us the answer. I would have been very happy if one of the options were 7.5, but ठीक है, नहीं था. Yes, so I hope this part is clear. If there is something you are not understood, let me know. We are moving on to the next one till then. Okay? This is question 7. Yeah, again take 30-40 seconds to have a look at this. Very easy question. I am sure you will be able to manage this one. So it just looks long, but otherwise it's a manageable question. Alright, let's look at this particular question now. A tank is fitted with pipes, some filling it and the rest draining it. All filling pipes fill at the same rate, all draining pipes drain at the same rate. मतलब सब दोनों का अलग अलग speed पूछा है, but it's going on. The empty tank gets filled completely or completely filled in 6 hours when 6 filling and 5 draining pipes are on. So let's say filling pipe जो है ना, वो F liters और units per hour, चलो F units per hour पे fill करता है each filling pipe, and each draining pipe drains D units per hour. Now 6 hours के अंदर 6 filling pipes कितना काम करेंगे? 6 into 6, right? So 36 F amount of water would have been pumped into this particular tank, and 5 draining pipes are also working for 6 hours, right? तो यहाँ पे लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, 5 into 6 30D यूनिट्स बाहर निकाल रहे हैं. So in 6 hours what would have happened? 36F would have got filled and 30D would have got removed. This is basically the capacity of the tank. Okay, so this is what we have. Also second case में क्या हो गया, the time becomes 60 hours when 5 filling. So 5 filling 60 hours में कितना काम करेंगे, 300F ना, 5 into 60. So each filling pipe does F units per hour. तो फिर in 60 hours it will do 60F. 5 such pipes will do 60 into 5 300F. And 6 draining pipes, so minus 360D हो जाएगा. This is also capacity of the tank. So we can equate these two. We know that 36F minus 30D is going to be equal to 300F minus 360D. तो क्या हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, 300 minus 36 is 264F and this 360 will go यहाँ पे, it will become 330D या minus 360 का plus 360 हो जाएगा and 330D हो जाएगा. Now if you know your math you will be able to know that दोनों 11 के multiples तो हैं ही. So 11 2s are 22, 11 4s are 44, 11 30s are 330, 6 4s are 24, 6 5s are 30. ठीक है. So we know that 4 filling pipes जितना काम करते हैं ना, उतना ही 5 drainage वाले pipe काम करते हैं. That is what we know in this particular case. ठीक है. Whatever is the amount of time taken by 4 filling pipes is the same, or whatever is the effort done by 4 filling pipes, that is the same effort that is done by 5 draining pipes. ये मेरे को पता है. ठीक है. Now if I know this, I can find the capacity of the tank using this. So if 4F equals 5D, right? 4F equals 5D अगर मेरे पास है, तो फिर I can find it in terms of D ना. अगर 4F 5D है तो 36F कितना हो गया, into 9 कर दिया, तो 45D हो गया. So what is the capacity of the tank? 45D minus 30D, that is 15D. ये बन गया capacity of the tank. And what is going to happen now? One draining pipe is there, so D is there, and 2 filling pipes are there. 2 filling pipes मतलब क्या हो गया यहाँ पे? If 4 filling pipes are 5D, 2 filling pipes कितने हो गए? 2 filling pipes will do the work equivalent to 2.5D. ठीक है. So 15D is the total amount of work that needs to be done. 2.5D is the amount that is coming into the tank, and 1D is the amount that is getting drained, क्योंकि 1 draining pipe है मेरे पास. So now I am going to get 15D divided by 2.5D minus D, 5.5D. So my answer is going to be 10 hours. The question is in how many hours? Yeah. So the answer is going to be 10 hours for this particular question. All right. $10 hours. Yeah. Yokeshwaran, correct. All right. I'll show you the next one. Have a look at this. Again, interesting question, manageable question, but you have to do it more or less mechanically. You have to go one step, second step, third step, ऐसे पूरा करना पड़ेगा, तो ही will be able to manage these kind of questions. So it's mostly a game of persistence more than anything else, but manageable questions. Yeah, I play chess, dummy account. In fact, I think I had replied to you earlier as well during the AMA. I gave my ID to someone, but I don't think that was the right one for some reason. So I'll just check once now that you have mentioned it. I was very sure that was my ID. Achha, my ID is something else. Oh. So on chess.com it is this. Shashank _Prabhu. But I haven't been playing a lot. I only play puzzles mostly. Hi Prince, good evening. Alright, let's look at this one. इसको देख लेते हैं जल्दी से. A CAT aspirant appears for a certain number of tests. His average score increases by 1 if the first 10 tests are not considered and decreases by 1 if the last 10 tests are not considered. If his average scores for the first 10 and last 10 are 20 and 30, find the total number of tests taken by him. ठीक है. So total number of tests is something that we don't know. We don't know the entire average, right? Total average मेरे को नहीं पता. Now let's say the number of tests पूछा गया तो उसको x ले लेते हैं. Let x be the number of tests. Let x be the number of tests. And let some a be the average across all tests, across x tests. ठीक है, ये मेरे को दिया हुआ है. Now what can I say about this? If x is the number of tests and a is the average across x tests, total score कितना हो जाएगा? x into a हो जाएगा. Now there are two cases. If the first 10 tests are not considered and first 10 tests का average is 20, मतलब total में से अगर मैंने 200 निकाल दिया and out of x tests if I remove 10, then what will happen to my average? My average will increase by 1, right? Or his average will increase by 1. तो average बन जाएगा a plus 1. सेकेंड केस में अगर एक्स ए में से मैंने 30 के एवरेज वाले 10 टेस्ट्स निकाल दिए, 300 विल गो आउट ऑफ द टोटल स्कोर एंड योर डिनोमिनेटर विल स्टिल बी x minus 10 and this will be equal to a minus 1. Average goes back by 1. Now what do we have to figure out in this case? We have to figure out what is the value of x. ये निकालने का है मेरे को, right? So I need to eliminate a from this discussion entirely. So if I'm able to eliminate a from everywhere, I should be fine here. ठीक है. So what can we do in this context? We know that यहाँ पे x a है, यहाँ पे x a आ जाएगा, a will go away and we will have minus 10a, we will have minus 10a, तो वहाँ से भी a चला जाएगा. So that way we can manage this. So let's try to expand this and see what happens. X a minus 200 will be equal to x a plus x minus 10a. Just give me a second. X a plus x minus 10a minus 10. ठीक है. Second equation becomes x a minus 300 equals x a minus x minus 10a plus 10. ठीक है, ये बन जाता है. Now we know that यहाँ पे x a cancel out हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे भी x a will get cancelled out. Yeah, Prince, thank you so much for those kind words. So x a will get cancelled out here, right? Now what do we know here? We have to eliminate a, ये मेरे को पता था. I just need to have x here. How can I do that? I can subtract the first or the second equation from the first equation. So minus 200 minus of minus 300 हो जाएगा. X minus of minus x हो जाएगा. Minus 10a minus of minus 10a यहाँ पे cancel हो जाएंगे. And minus 10 is what we will have here. So let's see what happens. If I subtract the second equation from the first equation, minus 200 minus of minus 300 will give me 100. X minus of minus x will give me 2x. Minus 10a plus 10a cancel out हो जाएगा. And minus 10 will become minus 20. ठीक है. So 2x will be 120, x will be 60, I believe. Yeah. So the correct answer to this one should be 60. So by taking variables, you can manage this. So I would generally suggest you to take variables and do it. You might start thinking about when does first 10 के scores आएंगे, last 10 के scores आएंगे. If it increases by 1, so first 10 tests must contribute less to the entire mix, and that's why the average is increasing and so on. You can think about all those things, but digging deeper is not going to help you during the test, right? So test के time पे तो definitely don't get into these kind of thoughts. Try to solve it normally. I'm sure you'll be able to manage it. ये बहुत difficult नहीं है यहाँ पे. Whatever I have written is not extremely difficult. It's not incomprehensible. So I'm sure you will be able to handle this one. Okay, I'll show you the next question. Have a look at this. Alright, so have a look at this question, then we will solve this. So this is the second last question. I have one more question after this. Nirmal, I am not associated with IMS anymore, so I have no idea. I think we will have to go there and check. And Prince, again, thank you so much for the kind words. So think about this for a bit. and then we can solve it. This is exactly similar to what we had done earlier. So again, there you had filling pipes and draining pipes. Here you have inlets and inlets. So दोनों inlets हैं. Both of them are fillers here. So that will make your life, I would not say easier, but हाँ मतलब it's वो minus d वाला part यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा. So that will make it slightly easier, I would say. Yes. So have a look at this one. It's very easy, manageable question है. So check it out once and then we will discuss this. ठीक है? Yeah, yes, Prince. Let's hope that happens. Okay, so let's look at this question. A water tank has inlets of two types, A and B. All the inlets of type A when open bring in water at the same rate. So let's say A जो है ना वो A liters units per minute, ठीक है, units per minute कर लेते, because everything is in terms of minutes and 1 hour. So A units per minute is the speed at which, let's say, pipe A, inlet A works, and B works at the speed of B units per minute. Okay? Now the empty tank is completely filled in 30 minutes if 10 inlets of type A and 45 inlets of type B are open. So 10 inlets of type A are open for 30 minutes. So 300 A is the amount of work that would have been done by inlets A or inlets of type A, and 45 into 30. So you can either calculate it or keep it as it is. So 45 into 30 is 135. So 1350 B. This will basically be the capacity of the tank. Second case में क्या हो रहा है? And in 1 hour, 60 minutes में 8 inlets of type A. So 60 into 8 is 480 A. That is the amount of effort that is done by type A. And 18 into 60, so 1080. 1080 B is also the capacity. Okay? Now we have to find out in how many minutes will the empty tank get completely filled if 7 inlets of type A and 27 inlets of type B are open. So again we have to figure out A and B ka equivalence and then replace one of the inlets by something, try to figure out the capacity of the tank, divide, and you will get the answer. So यहाँ पे if we equate these two, we are going to get 300A equals 300A plus 1350B equals 480A plus 1080B. So both of them are the same capacity है. तो अगर ये करेंगे तो we are going to get 180A equals 270B. Or in other words, 5.6. Jokeshwaran, I don't think that is the answer. But let's see. Chalo. 180A is 270B. No, not even 1.6. We'll see. Let's see. एक बार देख लेते हैं. 180A is 270B. So we can say that A by B is nothing but 90 into 3 by 90 into 2. So 3 by 2. Or we can say that whatever work is done by two A type inlets will be done by 3 B type inlets. That's it. Okay? So 2A equals 3B. Now we can find the capacity easily in this particular case, right? We know that 27 inlets of B are there. 3 to 27 jana is much easier than going from 2 to 7. So let's try to convert everything in the form of A. Okay? So in this case, what we are saying is 2A is 3B. So 1350B is nothing but 450, right? So let's see, चलो यहाँ पे कर लेते हैं. 1350B is this multiplied by 450. So this multiplied by 450 is going to be 900A. So we will know that 900A plus 1300A, that is 1200A, is the capacity of the tank. 1200A needs to be filled at what speed? 7 inlets of A and 27 inlets of B. So instead of 27B here, 3 into 9, we will be able to have 18 inlets of A. And that is why 18 plus 7 will be 25 here. Right? So 25A will be the speed at which it will be filled and 1200A will be the capacity. A will get cancelled out. 25 4s are 100. You will be left with 200. So 25 8s are 200. So the answer is going to be 48 minutes. Yeah, Yogeshwaran, I hope it was clear. Something is off. I don't know where you went wrong. But 48 minutes is the answer. Alright, I hope this was clear. I'll show you the last question for the day. Have a look at this one and we'll discuss the answer to this one as well. But I hope the previous ones were all clear. So if anyone has any doubt in any of the previous questions, let me know. I'll try to resolve them. And this is a very easy question. This I'm sure everybody will be able to get. Okay, Yokeshwaran, I hope you got it. Okay, Prince. Have a great evening. Thank you for that again. Yes, have a look at this one and then we will solve this. So take 30 seconds I think for this. We'll start solving this at 9:10. Chalo. Acha. Let me also think about where you might have gone wrong in the previous one. A by B was 3:2. Not sure. I can't see 1.6 anywhere. 48 ठीक है. Maybe, okay, I can see one thing. Maybe instead of 60 minutes you might have taken 1 hour. Maybe that happened. Not sure. So 8A plus 18B seems very improbable though. Or you might have converted everything into hours. That is another of my guesses. So you converted 30 minutes into half an hour and 1 hour kept as it is. But finally you might have got 0.8 or something. So that 0.8 is in terms of hours, not in terms of minutes. So maybe that is the one. All right. So let's look at the last one. Very easy question. Let's try to solve this. A, P, Q, B lie on the same straight line such that P, Q, B are respectively 100, 200 and 300 kilometers away from A. So A, P, Q, B are such that P, Q, B are 100. So P is 100 from A, Q is 200 from A, so 100 from P, and 300 from A, so 100 from Q, right? So all of them are equidistant, you can say. So P and Q trisect A and B. That is what we can say in a way. Cars A 1 and 2 leave A at the same time and move towards B. So cars 1 and car 2 move towards B simultaneously. Simultaneously car 3 leaves from B. So car 3 leaves from B and moves towards A. Car 3 meets car 1 at Q. So car 3 meets car 1 at Q and car 2 at P. Yeah, straightforward. If each car is moving in uniform speed, then the ratio of car 2 to car 1 is what? Straightforward. Okay? So in this particular case, car 1 would have traveled 200 kilometers in the time that car 3 would have traveled 100 kilometers. Now because time is constant, we know that distance is directly proportional to speed. So we will be able to say that speed of car 1 upon speed of car 3 is the same as distance covered by car 1 upon distance covered by car 3. In this case, speed of distance by car 1 is 200, distance by car 3 is 100. So the ratio of S1 and S2, so S1 by S3 rather, is 2. Okay? We also know that car 3 met car 2 at point P. So what does this mean? The amount of time that car 2 would have taken to travel from A to P is the same as the amount of time that car 3 would have taken to travel from B to P. Because the time is constant, distance is directly proportional to speed. Distance covered by car 2 upon distance covered by car 3 will be the same as speed of car 2 upon speed of car 3. Okay? So we'll get speed of car 2 upon speed of car 3 as 100 covered by 2 and 200 covered by car 3 C3. So 1 by 2 आएगा यहाँ पे. I need to find out what is the value of S2 by S1. ये मेरे को निकालना है. I know S1 by S3 is 2. I know S2 by S3 is 1 by 2. I need to find S2 by S1. What we can do is we can divide this by this and figure it out. So S2 by S3 divided by S1 by S3 is going to be equal to S2 by S3 is 1 by 2 divided by 2. So into 2 aa jayega, right? And so you are going to get S2 by S1 is 1:4, I believe, something off. Yeah, it should be 1:4. I think something, the question should have been 1:4 or something, or maybe I might have done something. Let's see. So car 1 ka speed will definitely be greater than car 2 ka speed. Yeah, car 1 ka speed will be definitely greater than car 2 ka speed. So yeah, S2 by S1 is 1 by 4. Perfect. That is the answer. Right? So the answer is 1:4. I thought it was 4:1 for some reason. So the answer is 1:4 for this one. Speed of car 2 to that of car 1 is going to be 1 by 4. Right? So that is basically the last question of the day. Right? So on that note, we'll close the session. Thank you everyone for turning up. I hope everything was clear to you. In case there's something that you're not able to figure out, something that you need some help on, help with after the session is done, you can just put it in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you on the query that is there. But mostly I think everything should be clear today, should not be an issue. Tomorrow the daily drill will be on data interpretation. So make sure that you are going through the sets before you turn up for the session to make the best use of that session, right? So 2 sets is what we have. Again, I think there are a couple of challenging sets. One set I remember is a good set, moderately challenging set, and there is one set which I think is like fairly challenging again, right? So both of them are like fairly challenging sets. So have a look at those 2 sets, and I'll see you again tomorrow with the solutions at 8 p.m. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a surprise waiting for you on Thursday evening, 10 p.m. So Thursday is going to be a double header. There are going to be 2 live sessions for the benefit of all of you. So make sure that you are keeping yourself free Thursday evening, and more details will be revealed tomorrow. So that's basically when you will know what to expect. All right. So thank you everyone for turning up for this session again, and have a great evening ahead of you. I'll see you